the reflection that stayed. It started with the mirror. Nina had found it at an old thrift shop downtown, buried beneath dusty paintings and forgotten furniture. Its frame was carved with twisting vines and strange symbols she couldn't quite decipher. The shopkeeper was reluctant to sell it. Bad history, he muttered, avoiding her eyes. But Nina insisted. It was beautiful, and it was cheap. The first night, it hung in her living room, catching the soft glow of her floor lamp. It made the space feel warm and elegant, though she felt an odd chill whenever she passed by. Old houses have drafts, she reasoned, and dismissed the feeling. By the second night, the chill had grown stronger. Nina started noticing things. The mirror seemed heavier in her peripheral vision, like it was pulling her attention. Once, when she walked past it on her way to the kitchen, she swore her reflection turned its head just a second too late. She froze, staring at herself, matching her every movement. Shaking it off, she decided she was just imagining things. The third night, things escalated. As Nina sat on her couch scrolling through her phone, she felt an itch to look up. The mirror, her reflection, was watching her. It wasn't holding its phone, it sat there, staring at her with a strange intensity. She blinked and glanced at her hands, confirming the phone was still there. When she looked back at the mirror, her reflection had returned to normal. She laughed nervously to herself. "I'm losing it," she whispered. The fourth night, everything changed. Nina woke up at exactly 3:12 a.m., heart pounding, skin clammy. Something had pulled her out of sleep, though she couldn't say what. The room was too quiet, and a deep, unnatural cold had settled over her apartment. She grabbed her phone and turned on the flashlight. Making her way toward the living room, the air felt heavier the closer she got to the mirror. Her breath fogged up in the cold, and the hairs on her neck stood on end. The mirror's surface was cloudy, as though someone had been breathing on it. She leaned in closer, and her heart stopped. Her reflection was there, but it wasn't right. Its eyes were black voids, staring back at her with a twisted grin that stretched impossibly wide. Slowly, it raised a hand and tapped on the other side of the glass. Tap, tap. Nina stumbled back, her phone slipping from her hands. She heard the faint sound of glass cracking. The mirror's surface began to ripple, like water disturbed by a stone. "Let me out," the reflection whispered. The voice was hers, but distorted, layered with something deeper and inhuman. Before she could scream, a long, pale hand reached through the glass. By the time the neighbors checked on Nina the next morning, the mirror was gone and so was she. All they found was her phone, lying on the floor, its screen cracked and flickering.